It probably won't surprise you that as a bloke in his mid-30s who grew up with the G1 cartoon and toys like Thunder Clash and the Rescue Force, that I have some opinions about the Michael Bay era of movie designs. But since I'm nice, and because you've also been hearing opinions like this for the last 15 years, I'll just simply say that they're not for me. Which also means that, as a general rule, I'm not super enthused by the movie toy lines either. But that doesn't mean that I'm completely incapable of appreciating them or having fun with them. For example, 2014 Voyager class Age of Extinction Grimlock. Now, this Grimlock's rocking a somewhat more colourful paint job than he did in the movie, as in he's actually got some colour on him. And like movie toys generally are, his design has been simplified a lot as to actually work as a physical object you can hold in your hand. Looking at him, he does seem to have a fair amount of alt-mode guff hanging off him. The dino head pauldrons are cool with me because they're part of his design and, you know, aesthetic. But the feet hanging off his arms and the spring-loaded arse jaw are perhaps a little more egregious. In fact, you should probably just not look at the back at all, really. Still, I do like how the simplified design allows for elements like the Kabuto-style helmet to really shine here, and his big pointy shoes are both very funny and provide a lot of stability. In terms of posability, he's better than I expected. Those long bayonetta legs of his allow him to make some pretty big shapes despite missing some stuff like a waist swivel. He just naturally settles into big brawler poses, you know? Although, saying that, the little side skirt panels do their absolute best to ruin your fun by getting in the way at all times and never satisfactorily moving out of the way. He also has some really upsetting ankle tilt going on. I mean, normally such a thing would be appreciated, but the joint is just a little bit higher than where it feels like it should be, so it just looks uncomfortable. I don't like it. His transformation can be a little fiddly, mostly because getting everything tabbed in place can be awkward, and it likes to come apart, but it's not exactly complicated, and pulling the back of his neck through his bifurcated head is a pretty fun move. At the end, you're left with this fun, if lumpy, little dinosaur with cute little expressive horn ears. He even has a neat biting feature activated by a little button on the neck, useful for picking up a light snack. And since his legs are just his robot mode arms, it means that his legs have a surprising amount of articulation, even if the weight of the rest of the toy means you aren't really able to do much in the way of posing, but that's not exactly unique to this Grimlock. Still, having any neck movement at all would have been nice, even if I'm not sure how they achieve it given all the joints and hinges in that area. One thing I do find fun is that considering how different the design and engineering is, it still kinda conforms to the classic Grimlock transformation. You know, the robot mode arms become the legs become the tail, the dino head parts are stored around the back, and his robot head disappears somewhere into the torso. I know there's only so many ways you can turn a bloke into a dinosaur, but I don't know, it's nice to feel a little bit of continuity even on such a different figure. Also, you can angle his little arms in like this and make him look sheepish, which I think is quite good. To move on to his accessories, or rather accessory since he only comes with one, or I suppose technically two since it is made of two parts. Anyway, it's a mace weapon that he can hold by this little handle in robot mode. The way he holds it is pretty awkward, but having a handle is just one of those concessions I understand since a two-handed mace is kinda hard to do unless he has hands that can accommodate it, which he doesn't. Still, I kinda feel like he looks better without it. Or you can just give him a weapon from someone else. It's a standard port size, I assume you've got something lying around. Oh, and if any of you are wondering if you can store the weapon on his alt mode, well, you can, but the results are less than elegant. Honestly, the mace just lives in a drawer most of the time. So, all in all, although the robot mode isn't quite as iconic as his classic look, and his dinosaur mode is a bit lumpier and not quite as cute, and I have spent most of the video complaining about what doesn't work, that doesn't mean he's not fun, it's just he comes from a particularly strong lineage, and his flaws are mostly the result of trying to recreate an on-screen design that's difficult to recreate faithfully. And whilst personally I actually kinda like his non-screen accurate colours, I do get if they're a little wacky for some. But there is other decos out there if you prefer, some more movie accurate and some Nemesis Grimlock. So Voyager Age of Extinction Grimlock, he is unlike the movie he comes from in that he's actually alright. And he doesn't give me a headache.